Okay, wow, I guess that's it. I guess I'm live. What's up, Real Cruise? How you doing today, man? Happy to see you. Happy to have you here in the live stream. So I am hanging out in a parking lot in California. Hanging out in a parking lot in California at a PetSmart, and just doing a little bit of cleaning today in the van. It's been a mess. I really haven't taken care of it over the last couple of days. I've just been busy out doing stuff. And so, yeah, we're going to do a little bit of cleaning today. Happy to have you guys hanging out. And that's it. We're just going to kind of chill in the parking lot, do some van life stuff. Slowly making my way south through California. I'm currently in Long Beach, California. What's up, chillin' in DC? Happy to see you here. LTS17, love your videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, LTS17. Samuel Vera, love watching your channel. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I decided to come in on a Saturday and just kind of say hi. I normally do lives on Wednesday evening, but I realize not everybody, is available Wednesday. Some people, they got to work and they got life going on. So just thought I would try to connect on this wonderful Saturday and see what everybody's doing. LTS 17, I love your videos so much. Thank you. I appreciate you watching them. It's been a long grind. I've been making videos for a long time, many years, and it's been a struggle. It's a constant battle, like with the algorithm, to get my videos out to people, get them to watch. I have some videos that do really well, and then I have a lot of videos that don't. So, it's just all part of the game. But I'm hoping at some point it'll really take off, and I'll be able to get some money going and just cruise off into that van life sunset. Keith by the Sea says, you're in my hood. Happy to hear it, Keith. It's a good hood. I've been enjoying myself down here. Chilling in DC is asking about the temperature. It's nice, bro. It's sunny right now. It's like 80 degrees outside. Sun is shining. Just beautiful. The weather in California has been awesome. See if I can show you guys. Do a little spin around. See that? Look at that. Beautiful, sunny. I'm in a parking lot right now. That's the PetSmart. I'm parked across from a PetSmart and a bunch of Tesla superchargers. So that's my view right now. That's what I got going on. Charlie Pepin in the chat. Hey Charlie, happy to see that you survived the hurricane. I know it got crazy. Fortunately, I don't think it got as bad as people were thinking it was going to get. From everything I saw online, there was definitely some flooding and, there was some bad things that went down. I saw there was a lot of tornadoes in Florida, like 30. They had like 30 tornadoes or something crazy. So, that's no good, but I'm happy to see you made it. You survived and you didn't get blown over in your RV. I know that must have been pretty scary. Going through a hurricane like that in a vehicle. I couldn't even imagine. Got reactions. Yo, how goes it? I'm wondering if I'll be able to keep my box kept up. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing today is a little upkeep. The nice thing about like a box truck or a van is that just in general, it's a much smaller space. So there's just less room for clutter. There's less stuff you have to clean up. So it's pretty nice. It's like, imagine if basically your entire house was just the size of your like bedroom, right? So that's like the only space you have to clean. So in that regard, it's a lot easier to keep up, but it's still something you just got to get on. And so normally what I do is I clean as I go. You know, like after I make food, then right away I clean up everything, put everything away. And so if you just stay on top of it, then it doesn't build up and get too crazy. But I've been just busy the last few days doing nomad stuff, and so I just been kind of putting the cleanup on hold. And so I got a few days worth of like buildup that now I got to deal with. And so that's what we're gonna do today. And I have like some deep clean items that I'm gonna do today that are like a once a week or once every 2 week process. Like for example, today I'm gonna clean out the sink. And so that's something that I do like once a week, once every 2 weeks, because it just gets, you know, kind of some buildup and grime in it over time. So that's what I'm gonna do today is kind of clean up the sink. Charlie Pepin's scariest thing I went through. Yeah, I believe it, Charlie. You know, I survived Hurricane Maria. I was down in the Virgin Islands, St. Croix, and I was there on vacation, and that hurricane came through, and it was an absolute monster. I think I talked about this on the last live stream, but it's crazy to see that in person, and just to see the power of nature, and you realize, you know, it's pretty easy to see your own mortality when you see, you know, 100+ mile an hour winds, and you see trees like bending over and snapping, and it's crazy to experience it firsthand. I think it's something that everybody should experience at least once in their life, just to, you know, be a little bit humbled and understand the power of Mother Nature. Marky Mark in the chat, miss your face, bro. Come back to SD. I hear you, Mark. I appreciate that. I am slowly coming back. I'm currently in Long Beach, California, and so I'm just heading south. I'll probably be in San Diego. Well, not probably. I will be in San Diego this week, maybe like by Wednesday. So yeah, man, we should definitely meet up. Curious to see how you're doing. Catch up. Chilling in DC, you need a gimmick or an eye catcher to get more people to tune in. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's interesting. I've been doing lives now for almost a year straight, every Wednesday a live, and they really don't grow that much. Like, I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying I pretty much have like, you know, about 70 people that watch on average any given live. And then I have like between 1,000 and 2,000 people total that go back and watch the live replays. So it's just pretty like stagnant. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll figure it out. I'm planning to do another van build this winter in Arizona, a box truck build. And so I think that'll help grow the channel because I'll be going through it live, doing, you know, start to finish build out. And I know people like the build out content, so I think that will help. Off-grid desert dwellers, hello, how are you? Happy to see you. Happy to see you here in the chat. Off-grid desert dwellers, I saw a comment you left on one of my YouTube videos about the windows that I'm cutting in. Yeah, I used butyl tape around the edge, and so typically what you do with that butyl tape is, or at least what I do is I like to kind of roll it up. So it comes in strips, right? So you can use like 1/2 inch butyl tape. But what I like to do is kind of roll it up like this into kind of like a little round strip. And it kind of just helps like mush everything together and activate it. And then I just kind of press that around the edge of the window and then push the window in right up to it. So you can use 1/2 inch butyl tape. But I think when you roll it like that, it kind of really helps activate it and make it sticky. And then it sticks to the vinyl, no problem. Okay, Diver, hey, 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 all is well. Absolutely. I'm doing well today. So I'll show you guys one little van life hack. I have these little squeeze soap dispensers. I got them at Target. And so I have this one for dish soap. You can see it's a little bit darker. It has like some Dawn in it. And then I have another one that's a little bit lighter. and this is hand soap. This is Dr. Bronner's lavender. Now the smart move would have been to get different colors so it's easier to recognize, but anyway, so I just keep these by the sink, and then that's how it's like easy to just have soap, do your cleaning, but then also you don't have some huge bottle you have to deal with. Rhymes with orange. Yes, I'm live again. I'm just doing a little van cleaning on a Saturday, and so I thought I would just go ahead and do a live anyway and just see what y'all are up to. And yeah, just show you guys how I clean my van, just kind of hanging out. DZIM, how high is the ceiling in your rig? Looks like you have lots of headroom. I do. I have 7-foot ceilings. So I am 5'10", and here is the ceiling. So pretty good amount of space, as you can see. That's why I like a box truck. You get the most ceiling height out of any vehicle in a box truck. Taller than a Sprinter, taller than a shuttle bus. I love the tall ceiling. It just makes everything feel so much bigger. And also it's so wide. So I mean, you know, I can stick my arms out, no problem. It just feels like a really big space. So I have no problem staying in here for, you know, multiple days in a row. Especially like as you get into winter, if it's cold outside and you know you have to be inside for an extended amount of time. It's nice to be in a space that's kind of large, you can move around, and you don't feel like, you know, claustrophobic. So huge fan of the box trucks, and that's definitely what I'll be doing next time. Robert Allman. In your experience, is 110 AC mini split more efficient and dependable than a 12 volt or 24 volt? Yes. Yeah, Robert. So here's the thing with air conditioning. What an air conditioner does is it literally just removes the heat from the air inside your house. That's all we're doing. We're taking the air in the inside, we're pulling the heat out of it, and then we're taking that same air that does not have heat and releasing it back in the vehicle. That's all an air conditioner does. It's removing heat. And so with an air conditioner, the larger the physical surface area of the air conditioner, the better it's going to do at removing heat. And so if you look at a typical 110 volt mini split like the one I have, you look at how big the outdoor unit is, the outdoor coil, which is the part that's responsible for dissipating heat. It's huge. It's like this wide, it's like this tall, it's a monster. And I was just having this conversation with Sir on Dave the other day, because he has a mini split and he has the 24 volt one. You know, the one you see on like AliExpress where it's like, it's got the smaller rectangle unit on the wall inside, and then the outdoor unit is pretty small. And so I was talking with him, and even though they claim that it's like, you know, a similar amount of BTUs or whatever, his air conditioner does not do as well as mine. He was telling me when it's really hot out, it runs all day and it just can't keep his van cool, which this air conditioner I have, it cranks. I have never had an issue getting it cool in here. And I know it's because his air conditioner is just physically a lot smaller. And it's just physics. When you're dissipating heat, the more surface area you have, the more heat you can get rid of. So for that reason, I always recommend 110 volt air conditioners. They're physically larger and they do a better job. Okay, Diver, have you thought about CNC wall mount router for your next build? It makes your build look professional. Done. What's a CNC wall mount router? I have no idea what you're talking about. I know what a CNC machine is. I know what a router is. I don't understand what a CNC wall mount router is. Chilling in DC, here's an idea: building a solar panel system for less than $100. Bro, how would you even do that? How would you even do that? I mean, yeah, you could get some cheap, you could get like a used panel and a cheap charge controller, but I don't know. I don't think it's, I mean, it's like, yeah, you could do it, but that's not going to be a good system. You know what I mean? Like nobody's going to enjoy $100 solar system. It's going to be a piece of junk. You're not going to be able to do much with it. But I guess I could do it just for the views, you know? Got reactions. I would really like to have a small apartment fridge. Should I consider 48 volt? What are your thoughts on a fridge like that? Uh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Got reactions. That's a weird question. That's like multiple questions. You can get an apartment fridge if you want. Those are going to be 110 volt. I wouldn't do it though. Here's the thing. I would get a fridge that's specifically designed for a vehicle, and here's why. When you buy those like dorm fridges or the cheap apartment fridges, even if you get one from Home Depot for a couple $100, if you read through the manual, they're only designed to work inside of a home that, you know, doesn't get hotter than like 75 degrees. So if you read the manual on those, it'll say like, don't use this in a garage, don't use it outside. And that's the reason why those units are cheap, is because they're only designed to work inside of basically an air conditioned house. So they don't have to be that efficient and they don't need that much of a compressor. But when you buy like this one, this is designed, it's still big. It's like the size of a mini fridge. It's pretty big, but it's designed for like semi trucks. And so when you get any type of vehicle specific refrigerator, they're designed to work in way hotter temperatures, because odds are, even if you're just in a moderate place, you're gonna experience times that the temperatures inside your van are 80 or 90 degrees. And if you have one of those little dorm style fridges, they just don't work that well, and they're gonna run a lot, pull a ton of energy. So I wouldn't recommend one. You can do it, a lot of people do it, but if you can, I would really try to get a fridge that's designed for a vehicle, just for that reason. Okay, Diver, how do you power your mini split? I have an inverter. So I have my all-in-one inverter charger, and so that converts whatever power I need into 110 volts. And so that runs my mini split, and it runs my induction cooktop and my blender and my espresso machine. It runs everything. Off-grid desert dwellers, you're welcome for the advice. I hope that helps. Mine's been working great. I haven't had any leaks. This is the second vehicle, box truck, that I've done with windows with the same procedure of butyl tape, and it's been good. No leaks. Okay, Diver, Maker made M2. All you can do is build a jig vertical and then mount it on it and put a 4x8 sheet of plywood. Oh, I see what you're saying. My inverter is 3,000 watts. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that would be cool. I have seen before, just like on the internet, some little videos where they have like the router that mounts onto the wall and then it can like cut shapes and stuff. I do think that'd be pretty fun. I think that'd be a pretty cool idea. So yeah. Yeah, 3,000 watt inverter. So here's the thing. You're definitely going to want like a 3,000 watt inverter minimum. And here's why. Because I like to be able to run multiple things simultaneously and not have to worry about, you know, too much power and potentially tripping out the inverter. So like, for example, my induction cooktop, depending what level I'm cooking at, that typically uses like 600 to 800 watts. And then my air conditioner, just on average, uses about 500 or 600 watts. And so basically I can have my air conditioner running like it is right now. AC's cranking. I can have the AC running. I can have like all my lights on. The fridge can be running. And then at the same time, I can have two burners going. So I can be like cooking some chicken and heating up some veggies. So basically I can run all these appliances at the same time and the inverter can handle it. If you do anything less than 3,000 watts, then you're going to run into an issue where it'll be too much power. So like you could potentially need to turn off the air conditioner while you're cooking or, you know, something like that. And it's just so much easier to have more power than you know, more capacity than you need and then not have to really worry about it. Which 3,000 watts is pretty common, you know, so that's what I would do. I like the all-in-one units. They're really affordable. Mine was like 600 bucks, and that's my inverter and my MPPT charge controller and my shore power battery charger all in one. So it's a super efficient system and it's pretty affordable. Robert Allman, you're welcome. Thanks for dropping by the live chat. I appreciate you. Shadow Reaper, what's up? Thanks for joining the live stream. We're just talking about whatever while Nomad Brad does some cleaning. Okay, Diver, I plan on traveling with my CNC router so I can make money when I leave in January by helping others. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I really like that idea. You know, anything you can do to help other people, you know, help other people like achieve their goals and, you know, help do cool creative stuff, you know, maybe at a lower price. That'd be cool. Cause like with that CNC router, you can basically just set it up, program it, and then the little robot does all the work. So that sounds like a pretty cool gig. And I think the people would definitely be excited about that. I know like everybody that's, you know, thinking about joining van life and wants to help other people, I think it's going to be a really big industry. I mean, the way the world is going, there's more and more people basically joining van life every day. And, you know, it's not necessarily because people, you know, are super in love with the idea of van life. A lot of this is just because people are broke, you know, everything is so expensive and it's like a lot of people are just sick of it. They're sick of the bills and it's like, what else are you going to do? I mean, you're going to pay $3,000 a month to live in some crappy apartment that you don't even really like. Like, I'd rather live on the road. And what's interesting is I was listening to some podcast like last week, and this guy says, what's interesting about the time we're living in right now is how like any like service that you want to buy is like, or you want to have done is very expensive. It's a very high price. You know, like going to a restaurant, going to, you know, get your hair done or have your car worked on. So on one hand, you're paying the most money you've ever paid, but on the other hand, all the workers are also like experiencing the lowest wages, right? So like a lot of like health care workers and other types of jobs are paying a lot less. And so the person is like, on this podcast was like, if everything's so expensive, but everybody's so broke, like where's the money going? You know, the money that we're paying for all this more expensive stuff, like where's that money going? And I thought that was a very interesting question because I have no idea where the money is going. But, you know, I totally agree with that viewpoint. It's very interesting. Yeah, okay, Diver, I think that's a cool idea. And I think there would be a lot of interest in that. And I could see you doing that, you know, even just for homes, right? Like it doesn't have to be something exclusive to vehicles. And in fact, you would probably make a lot more money if you serviced regular sticks and bricks folks or businesses. You know, those kind of people will ultimately have more money to spend than people that are on a budget, you know, living in vans. So that's something to consider. The only thing I'm unsure about is like, you would need a place to set that up, I'm assuming, you know, like, because you got to have a spot like outside. Because if you're traveling and living in a vehicle, you're not going to be able to mill a 4x8 sheet of plywood inside your vehicle. So you're going to have to do it outside. So I guess that would be my question is that something you would do like outside on location, or what, you know, what would that look like? I'm curious. Okay, Diver says people are trading in their sticks and bricks for happiness. People aren't growing up wanting to buy the sticks and bricks. They're choosing happiness over that. Yeah, I agree with you. I think a lot of folks are starting to question, you know, the mainstream narrative, question what they've been told, and, you know, people are really at a point where they're having to kind of reassess what they're going to do with their lives. And so a lot of people are changing direction, and they're kind of going against the traditional modern way of living. I gotta say, right now, with how crazy everything's getting in the world, I think my favorite feature about this lifestyle is twofold. The first of which, I really like the fact that you're pretty self-sufficient, in the sense that, like, I generate my own electricity, and you know, I can obviously live wherever I drive to. The only thing I really, you know, need to get on a regular basis is water, but otherwise, as far as electricity goes, I'm pretty self-sufficient. But then also the fact that I can just relocate. Because with all the crazy like weather events and hurricanes and like unrest and immigration and stuff, I feel like I just would never know. I would have a hard time committing to a single location, you know, for any long amount of time. So I like the flexibility of being able to pick up and relocate and, you know, kind of go wherever you need to go to keep your sanity and have a, you know, have a somewhat of a good life. So I love the fact that I can just relocate and follow the good weather. And I'm not tied down to a specific address. Okay, Diver says people don't want a 30-year mortgage anymore. Yeah, I agree. I guess that's exactly what I'm getting at. Like, the world feels so unstable. I can't imagine committing to a single location for 30 years. Like, who knows what that place is going to look like in 30 years? You know, there's just so many variables. It seems like times are changing very rapidly. Okay, Diver says, I'm also traveling with my own support car. Oh, that's nice. So you'll have the ability to travel into town maybe and get supplies or something. Got Reactions says 2 million people without power right now. Yeah, that's crazy. You know, that's something that I wasn't even thinking about, but not just, you know, the fact that there's hurricanes and housing got destroyed, but even if your house didn't get destroyed, you have to deal with the power outages. And I know, obviously, in North Carolina, they're still without power. And I know lots of Florida is without power. I know one guy online that's in, let's see, what part of Florida is he in? I'm trying to think of the name of it. Anyway, I can't think of the name right now, but he's just south of Tampa. And he said power's been out, you know, for a few days. And they're saying it might not come back until Wednesday. And today is Saturday. So it's like, imagine being a week and a half, 2 weeks without electricity. I mean, you can't keep food cold. There's going to be a lot of limitations. So that's just the ability to generate your own power is a huge, huge advantage. And it definitely, you know, it just helps you feel more self-sufficient, and, you know, it helps you feel more prepared. Like, you're not just a sitting duck relying on public services, you know, to take care of you. So I love that idea. government and corporations don't prepare and save like we have to. They want to get paid first. I lost all power Wednesday and just got it back a few minutes ago. There you go. Well, that's not bad. If you lost power Wednesday and you got it back Saturday, that's pretty good. Polish American, good to see you too. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Got reactions. The virus, weather, they're not prepared for the job. They show us over and over. Oh, Tara's just north of Tampa. Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you got your power back already. That's fast. Oh, is it Myers Beach? Is that Myers Beach? Is that a town in Florida? I don't remember. Shipping ports, truckers. I know someone without power for 15 days now. Yeah, that's crazy. Yep. So it's pretty cool, that, that we have that ability. Also, obviously, if you're in a van or a vehicle, you don't have to stick around for the hurricane. Like if I was over in Florida or something, I would have just left. I would have left well in advance. And so I think that's pretty nice. You can just cruise around, follow the good weather. If things are getting sketchy, you can just duck out, head somewhere else. But at the same time, wherever you go, you always have your home with you. You have, your home, a familiar place, where everything's at. You got everything you need, all your clothes, all your, food, emergency food, whatever. You always have what you need. And I think, was that Diver or was that, I think that was Got Reactions that said that. He made a good point. Yeah, Fort Myers, that's it. My friend, I have a friend in Fort Myers, Florida, and he was saying that he's out of power and they're not supposed to get it back till Wednesday. But, that's just an estimate, right? Like, who knows if they'll actually get it back Wednesday. And so in the meantime, you have no power for 2 weeks. And it's like, what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to charge your phones, stay connected to the internet. You're not going to have a fridge or a freezer. If you have electric appliances, like an electric stove, it's not going to work. So you're literally in like a camping situation. And then and then most of those people aren't prepared, right? So it's not like going camping with the foresight of planning. It's like you're just unintentionally camping and trying to make do. So absolute nightmare situation. Got Reaction says, or you can stick around, help out better with your own power, win-win. Yeah, that's another option, right? I wouldn't recommend riding out a hurricane in a vehicle, but you could stick around and help out the people. And even just something as simple as sharing your energy, sharing your electricity, making some meals maybe, something as simple as that is going to go a long way in a disaster situation. Because most of those people, they can't even really charge their cell phones unless they're going to idle their car or something. So there's definitely a lot of ways you could help out. Imagine if everybody in Florida, or not even everybody, but a large percentage. Imagine if a large percentage of the people in Florida were vehicle dwellers. Imagine all the independent micro power grids you would have. Everybody in vehicles is so prepared. You have all your own solar and electrical and cooking appliances. And if people were more prepared, it would make all these natural disasters not such a big deal. The main reason these natural disasters are so tragic is because humanity in general is not prepared to take care of themselves. Everybody just relies on the government and public utilities. And not that that's necessarily anybody's fault. That's what we're trained to do, right? Just rely on the government, rely on the utilities. They'll take care of you. But as somebody mentioned earlier, that's no longer the case. You could see how FEMA didn't really respond to North Carolina. Every video I saw of any type of recovery or help in North Carolina, it was all locals. It was like tractors and ATVs that were out helping people. It wasn't FEMA. And I think the United States is spread too thin. And, you know, they're sending all their money overseas. I mean, how many billions of dollars did the United States send to Ukraine? And then there's a natural disaster here, and it's like crickets. There's no money to help their own citizens. It's absolutely nuts. Tara, I just emptied my refrigerator contents into the trash. Yeah, I hear you. Tara Hall says no water damage. Happy to hear it. I have a metal roof. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, if you're going to be in a hurricane area, I think a metal roof is a good plan instead of the shingles. It's much less likely you're going to lose a metal roof because it's like they're huge panels that are like, you know, drilled down into the beams of your roof. So I think a steel roof is a good idea. I always like the idea of a steel roof. They last forever, basically. You don't have to do shingles. There's so many things in America that are kind of a scam. Asphalt shingle roofs are a scam. I think wood siding is kind of a scam. You know, if you do like metal siding, again, it's going to last forever. Or if you do like even a vinyl siding, it's going to last a lot longer than wood. Although then you're creating a bunch of plastic. You know, that's not necessarily ideal, but there's a lot of things we do here that are not like the most, they're like the cheapest options maybe, but they're definitely not the best options, and they're not the best long-term options. So it's kind of crazy. Once you start to think about it, it's kind of crazy. Got Reaction says, last week, almost another 8 billion to more weapons. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that they can spend all this money, they can send all this money overseas, but they can't find any money to help the citizens? It makes you wonder what's going on and why do they do it, right? Because there's a lot of people that have to say yes for this to happen, right? Like it all, somehow, I don't know how politics works that much, but somehow it all gets voted, and there's Congress and there's the Senate, and, you know, there's Americans that are at some point saying like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's send billions of dollars overseas to this country, and then there's no money left to help Americans, but that's okay. So it's kind of strange. You have to kind of think about what's going on. I'm sure at the end of the day, all the politicians are just paid off, right? So they're probably told, hey, you know, we got to pass this. We got to give 10 billion to Ukraine. But if you vote yes, you know, we're going to give you 100 grand. And so, you know, you can buy a new boat and take your family to Mexico, and you don't have to worry about it. You're going to be taken care of. But in the meantime, you know, all the average Americans are going to suffer. It's got to be some kind of a deal like that. And I don't know. It's crazy. But, you know, that's all out of our control. There's really no reason to, you know, stew over it. There's nothing we can do about it. That's all some high-level politics stuff. So I think it's just, it's important to live the best life you can. And that's, you know, that's where I took this path. I'm not interested in generating a whole bunch of money, paying a bunch of taxes, so that the government can go spend it on stupid stuff and, you know, have some big fancy house that I am never able to enjoy because I'm working all the time. This reality is very interesting. You know, it's a very interesting reality we live in. And it's important to really think about what you want to do and what you want your future to look like. Because if you just blindly follow the academic system, you can end up in a pretty weird place. Oh man, this thing is all dusty. That is not cleaning that at all. Let's see. Let me grab a new one. Grab a new microfiber. What do we got going on? Charlie Pepin, I got a bounce. All right, Charlie, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I'm happy to see that you survived the hurricane. I'm happy to see that your RV didn't blow over. And I will look forward to seeing you next time, brother. Enjoy your Saturday. And I will catch you on the flip side, Mr. Charlie Pepin. Okay. There it is. Hidden tomato. Basically, our representatives are sponsored by foreign interests. Our government can be bought. I don't mean to get away from box topic. It takes time, but they took time. Do you move often, or do you get parked and try to stay? Yeah, got reactions. So, um, in general, pretty much, I don't stay in the same spot for more than a couple days. I basically move every couple days. And so this trip through California has been a prime example of that. The spot that I just came from, I was there for 2 days. And so it kind of just depends on the vibe and what's going on. But for the most part, you can stay in a spot for a couple days without anybody hassling you. Everyone's a little bit different. Some people are super hardcore with their stealth camping where they say, oh, you should never spend the day in the same spot that you stay the night. Like you should switch it up. But I don't think that's the case. I've definitely stayed in the exact same physical spot for 2 days straight and not had issues. So that's typically what I do. I try to stay in a spot for a couple days and then move on. And you don't have to move far. If you're in an area that you like, you can literally just move a couple miles down the street. You don't have to go crazy. But I don't know. I just feel like in these type of vehicles, it's pretty easy to move around anyway. So, why not switch it up, get a new location? And when you're relocating, you can relocate near, some type of service or shopping you need to do. So you can, find a spot by the grocery store, find a spot by Planet Fitness. If you want to go do your nature, you can find a spot by a nature place. So I always am a proponent for picking your spots with intention, right? So, don't necessarily just pick a random spot. Find a spot in an area you want to be in. And then, of course, this all just depends on what you're doing and where you're at. When I go to Arizona for the winter, like if you're in a place that has BLM land, then you can stay in one spot for up to 2 weeks on BLM land. And if you go to a campground or something, then you can stay longer too. So it just depends where you're at, I guess. When I say I try to move every couple days, that's referring to when I'm doing like city stealth camping, right? Like if I'm parked in a parking lot like I am now, or if I'm parked on a city street, I try to move it along after a couple days. And it's easy to do when you're in the city like that because there's so many places you can park. It's not really difficult to relocate. Polish American is asking about my next build. My next build, I'm going to do it this winter. I don't know exactly a date. It's going to depend on some financial things that need to align, but I'm thinking December or January. I should be able to make it happen. December or January are my thoughts. And that's going to be a 16-foot Isuzu NPR style box truck. Hidden Tomato, I live in San Jose and didn't know about all those cool places to visit. I just got into camper van stuff with my 12-foot Honda. Oh, dude, if you have a Honda Odyssey, you're going to have no problem. Yeah, you're going to have no problem. Definitely check out the places I recommended. And once you get out there and start doing it for yourself, you'll find so many more places to stay. I definitely recommend that Planet Fitness that I was at in Milpitas. I think it's pronounced Milpitas. Milpitas? That was a really good parking lot. And you could go to the gym, you could go to Walmart. There's a bunch of other shopping right in that area. So that's a good, like a little home base. Like if I lived in San Jose, I could see myself spending a few nights a week there easily and then kind of just moving around. But that was a really good location. Yeah, I agree with gut reaction. San Jose is a really good spot. What's crazy is I've never really, you know, I've never really been to San Jose before until this year. I went there for Tiny Fest and then just kind of explored around. And I found so many awesome spots that I didn't even know existed. And the way van life works is really you got to just get into a city. And once you're there, like you'll start to find cool spots and kind of get into a groove. But it's one of those things that you kind of just have to be there and be out in the thick of it. And then all that stuff will kind of start to present itself. So I definitely recommend. The best way to get in is just to, you know, jump right in and you'll start to figure it all out. Shadow Reaper says what to do on rainy days. You know, that's a good question. And that's why I mentioned earlier today that I like having this bigger vehicle because, I mean, this is literally a studio apartment. Like, if it's a rainy day, you know, you can cozy up in bed, you can watch movies, you can play games, but you can still do all your regular stuff. You could cook food, make some soup, go to the gym, and then all the regular indoor stuff. So, you know, you can go shopping, go to the mall, go to a movie. I mean, it's like, what do you do on a rainy day? The same thing anybody else does on a rainy day. I mean, this is really no different, you know, than a regular house. So that's why I do like having the bigger vehicle. You know, if you're in a smaller van or like something where, especially if you're in a vehicle where you can't stand up, like a Honda Odyssey, it's going to be a little more challenging to be in that vehicle for like longer periods of time just because you can't stand up, you can't walk around. It after a while it feels a little bit confining. So that's a whole different ball game. But when you have space to move, it's no problem. Tara Hall asks, how do you do vehicle registration insurance? Well, that's a good question. My registration is actually currently expired. I registered this van in Texas when I bought it 2 years, well, a year ago, and then I renewed it last year. So I guess I've had it just about 2 years now. But the registration's expired because Texas registration requires you to go physically to Texas every year, and you have to have your vehicle inspected. And so obviously I'm not driving back to Texas. So the plan is I'm going to register it at my dad's house in Arizona. And I was kind of hoping to already be back there, but the way things worked out, I wasn't able to make it yet. So I'm going to register it in Arizona when I get back, which should be in like 3 to 4 weeks. I currently have I have insurance still though, so at least I'm covered with insurance, but my registration is currently expired. So I will switch over to Arizona registration once I get there. My insurance, I do have a commercial insurance policy because I did not have this vehicle converted to a motorhome. The title wasn't converted, so I don't know. My insurance is like $80 a month. It's not that expensive. But when I register it in Arizona, I will have it registered as an RV. And so then insurance is even cheaper. I think I was paying like $50 a month on my last box truck when it was registered as an RV in California. So that's the plan. Jack Rackham, hi from Montreal. Hello, Jack. Thank you for joining us. Myron Priest, good catch. You're live, Nomad Brad. Always learn from you. It's going to be interesting when robots are going to rule us. I think it's just going to make our society more introverted. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that Tesla thing that Elon Musk just did the other day, where he rolled out the robot taxi cabs and the robot, like the helper robots, the actual physical robots. It reminds me of the movie I, Robot, where everything goes haywire and the robots start attacking the humans. I'm sure no good will come from it. Ultimately, it's going to be a big disaster like everything else humanity does. But I don't know. All we can do is sit back and watch and grab the popcorn, right? Arizona Online says, what is your opinion, Nomad versus Starlink? That's a good question. So I personally have never owned Starlink, but I have used it. So here's what I can say. The thing I really like about Nomad Internet is how small it is. So all you need is this little box right here. That's what I'm using right now. And so it's portable. So if I want to go like for a walk and do a live stream and internet is poor on my phone, I can just take that little hotspot, put it in my backpack, and then I can walk around and use it, you know, out in nature wherever I need to be. Or if I want to live stream like from a friend's house or from a garage or the park or something, I can easily just take this with me. If I go to Starlink, then I'm basically limited to wherever my Starlink is installed. I know they have a new Starlink Mini now, which is designed to be more portable. But with the Mini, you still have to set it up. It has to have direct line of sight with the sky. So you can't use it in a house. You can't use it like, you know, you can't have it in a backpack and be walking with it. So they all have their own pros and cons. Obviously, the benefit of Starlink is that anywhere you have a clear view of the sky, you can have internet. So like for me, when I go to Arizona this winter, you know, most of the BLM land has pretty poor internet reception. And I used my Nomad internet at Schoolypalooza last year, and it was not great. It worked, but it was not great. So, I mean, my honest opinion is it would be nice to have both. I know that's not realistic for most people because Starlink is over $100 a month and Nomad is $100 a month. So I know it's not realistic to have both of them, but honestly, I would like to have both. If I had to choose one, it's tough. It's really tough. I really like Nomad just for its portability. So I'm really happy with that right now. Although I do plan to get Starlink, especially when I do my build this winter out in the desert, because there's not going to be, you know, dependable cell service out there. And I really want to be able to do a bunch of live streams while I'm doing the build and upload a bunch of content. And so without Starlink, I really don't think I'm going to be able to achieve the results that I want. Starlink is overrated and expensive. They have Starlink Mini. Yeah, I know they have Starlink Mini. So that's nice. That definitely helps. There's still some issues, like I mentioned. You still have to have a clear view of the sky. It's not super portable. You know, it's still, I think it still uses a lot more energy than what my little hotspot does. So you're going to need a pretty serious power bank. Like, you know, you're going to need some kind of Jackery or EcoFlow type unit to power your Starlink Mini. You're not going to be able to run it off just a little battery brick. So, you know, but everything has trade-offs, right? Like I mentioned before. So it just kind of depends. Depends what you're looking to do. I think for most people, Starlink is probably good. You know, if you want to be in a situation where you pretty much can always have internet and you don't have to worry about that. But I've been traveling for almost a year now with that nomad internet, and it's worked really well. I've only been in a few instances where it hasn't worked for me. So, and it's worked all throughout California, Nevada, Arizona. It didn't work at Burning Man, obviously, but otherwise, it's been a pretty good system. Pretty happy with it, and I like the price. I'm not sure how much Starlink Mini is. I'm not sure, but that would be something to consider. I think it's still probably over $100 a month. Okay, so we got the dishes done. We got the sink cleaned out. Let me rinse my coffee cup here. So this is something I do like once every couple weeks. I do like a thorough deep clean, clean the sink really well, pull out all these pieces and wash them down. And so clean off the mirror and all the sink area. So all this is pretty much done. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is clean the floor. Going to sweep everything up and vacuum it, and then wipe it down. So that's pretty good. So as you can see, I mean, it really only takes a couple hours to do a thorough deep cleaning of the vehicle, which is nice. Versus back when I had like an apartment, I had a 2-bedroom apartment that I shared with a friend. Like the first place I lived when I moved out many years ago. And, you know, you could spend all day cleaning that, between, you know, cleaning the kitchen, wiping everything down, sweeping the floor, vacuuming. You know, you're cleaning 2 bedrooms plus the kitchen plus the living room. So it's definitely a lot faster to clean up a smaller space. Hidden Tomato, Starlink Roam is $50 a month for 50 gigabytes. Yeah, that's something to consider. I use a lot more than 50 gigabytes though. Like because with my Nomad, I can hop on the router and take a look at my usage. And I use about 100 gigs a month between all my live streams and my video uploads, and then just regular streaming and research. I use quite a bit of internet. So I would need to know, $50 isn't bad for 50 gigs. That's cheaper than Starlink. Starlink's unlimited though. Anyway, yeah, it's all a trade-off. You just have to do the math and see what's right for your situation. I don't think there's a clear winner. I don't think there's one internet solution that's the best. I think it all just depends on each person's situation, their budget, their internet usage, their location. So it's really a case-by-case basis, which is true for most things in life, right? Most things in life, there's not a clear best. For most things in life, it's situational as far as what's right, you know, for each person. So what is this? I think this is for my blender. Where am I going to put this? Alt Code Guy says, stop buying into Elon Musk hype. He's making robots for the military. That's what Starlink is really for. Yeah, you know what's funny is if you watch the movie I, Robot, which was from 2004, there's a lot of similarities between what Elon Musk just announced yesterday and what happens in the movie I, Robot. And the vehicles, the robotic vehicle that Will Smith drives in the movie looks very similar to the Tesla cyber taxi he just announced. The robots look similar, and so it would make sense that Starlink will ultimately be some kind of like a control grid for all this robotic stuff and all this autonomous stuff. It's going to be wild, guys. Like, no matter what happens, the future is going to be wild. But here's the thing that I look at is we're still really far off from any of this stuff being absolute. Like if you really look at the technology that's available, like all this autonomous car, robo-taxi stuff, that's only going to work in smart cities. Those vehicles aren't going to be able to compensate for, out of a city that's completely mapped and geofenced and everything's planned out. So I think what's going to happen in the future is they're going to push forward with building these 15-minute cities. If you guys don't know about that, you can just Google 15-minute cities. They're doing them all over the country. They're going to be in California. There's going to be, I think Austin, Texas is going to be a 15-minute city. They're doing them in Florida. But basically, you're going to have these places all over the country where all the tech people, all the futurists, all the nerds are going to go live. And they're going to be drawn to this utopia where just everything's automated and effortless and done for you. And they're going to sign up and they're going to want to live in that world. But the most of us are going to be on the outside. Like, I think the reality is all that type of like authoritarian top-down government control, I don't think that's really going to happen to the entire country. I think the amount of infrastructure that will be required is just way too great. And I think that might be part of the reason they're trying to encourage people to move into the cities, is because they want to kind of corral people and draw them into these 15-minute cities. And I think there'll be more and more of a push for that as the future progresses. But I think no matter what, we're always going to maintain our free will. And there's going to be a lot of us, myself included, living outside of the cities, in the woods. I'm not going to be in some autonomous cyber taxi. I'm going to be in my gas burning vehicle, and it's going to be a completely different life. And so I think it's just getting to the point where people are going to have to really choose, what side of the coin they want to live on. And I think there's going to be a lot of influence and push for people to be a part of this, the 15-minute city design. They're going to make it look really appealing, and a lot of people are going to fall for the bait. So, it's just another situation where you got to really keep your wits about you and figure out, what's important and what type of life you want to live. And I think they'll probably have a lot of tax incentives. It might even be the case where your universal basic income is tied to your geographical location. So they might say like, hey, times are tough, we're going to give you UBI, but you have to live, in the borders of a smart city, right? And then your UBI is basically going to be credits that you can use in the 15-minute city. So you'll have your cyber taxi credits and your grocery credits and your movie credits, and it's going to be wild. But I'm pretty sure that's kind of the future that they're planning for humanity. Anyone that wants to go along with their agenda, I think that's probably what it's going to look like. Ben Caraza, watching from coastal Central California. Ben, happy to hear it. I'm currently just outside Costa Mesa. Loving it here in Cali. Real Cruise. I got into the Calix Institute Mobile Internet Donation Program in May. It's unlimited T-Mobile hotspot for $500 a year. Nice. Sir on Dave, who I just hung out with this week, he has the T-Mobile home internet hotspot, and he uses it in his box truck, and he said it works great. So even though it's a home internet router, he is able to use it on the go. And I guess they're not tracking him or tracking where he's using it from, because he travels all over the place. He was just in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, and now he's in Cali, and then he was in Denver before that. So he travels quite a bit, and he said he likes it a lot. And I forget what he pays, but it's pretty reasonable. I want to say it's like 60, maybe like $60 a month or something. That's the T-Mobile like home hotspot, home internet hotspot. But yeah, I think the thing with internet is just whatever you do, just try to avoid a long-term contract. I feel like the technology is rapidly changing, prices are changing, new things are becoming available all the time. So I feel like your best option is to just keep an open mind with your internet and try to remain flexible by not getting locked into a long-term contract. And it seems like most internet providers nowadays understand people do not want long-term contracts. And so it seems like most internet is not long-term. So yeah, I think, just try something out that seems like it's going to be a good fit for you. Try it out, see how it works, and then go from there. And if something better or different comes along in a few months, then, or maybe not a few months, but in a year or something, then you can switch over and try that out. Hidden Tomato, I used to live in Santa Ana, next to Costa Mesa. Nice. Hello, are you from SoCal? I'm not. I grew up in Oregon. I am in California because the weather is beautiful. You should check out the Costa Mesa Mall. I'm down. I'm going to be in Costa Mesa, downtown Costa Mesa tomorrow. So yeah, down to check out the mall. Arizona Online says their agenda is certainly not for me. Shadow Reaper says this is wild. Hidden Tomato, you should see if you can go down to Balboa Island to see if you can find a place to camp out there at the beach. Balboa Island, is that down by San Diego? Am I going to Yosemite? No, I'm not. Honestly, I really haven't been to any of the big national parks. For some reason, I just have never really been like called to them. I just feel like it's a lot of people. It's pretty congested. They charge you money, to enter. You usually can't stay the night, or if you can, you have to pay quite a bit for camping. And so I've just never gone to any of the national parks. I'm sure I'll go someday, but it hasn't happened yet. Balboa is in the Newport Beach area. Oh, you know what's funny? I got hassled pretty hard wait a minute, was it last year? 2 years ago. 2 years ago in Newport Beach, I got hassled pretty hard by the cops. I was stealth camping on like this street, but it was part commercial, part residential. And one of the homeowners called the cops on me, and like 3 cop cars came out, and they were real big assholes, and told me to move on. So yeah, Newport Beach was definitely not friendly. Okay, I gotta run the vacuum for a minute. All right. I love having this vacuum, by the way. Super compact. It uses the Makita batteries, because I already have a Makita 18-volt cordless tools, but it's not actually made by Makita. It's like a Chinese knockoff, but it's really good quality. Just everything about it. The hose is really good quality. And then the best thing is that it's cordless, but also it just uses, you know, whatever batteries you already have. And so they make one that runs off DeWalt batteries, and they have one that runs off Milwaukee batteries. So you can get one that'll match whatever battery packs you already have. And then that way you just buy the vacuum. It's like 50 bucks. And yeah, it's nice to have it to clean the floors. It works really well. Shadow Reaper says, I just left Yosemite. It was slammed. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in going to a place that's just full of people. I don't like it. I'd rather be out where there's nobody at. Do you just go to the laundromat, or are you going to make changes? Got reactions? What are you talking about, battery scams? Dude, I've had Makita cordless drills for like 20 years. I was a heating and air conditioning tech, so I use cordless drills and impact drivers and saws every day on the job site for 20 years. Let's see. Yeah, so I use laundromats, and the reason I use laundromats is I basically have a uniform. It's a t-shirt and it's shorts or a pair of pants. That's pretty much what I'm always wearing. And so I just bought a whole bunch of them. I have probably 15 t-shirts, 20 pairs of underwear, 20 pairs of socks. And so I can go like 2 weeks without doing laundry. So I just do laundry once every 2 weeks. Well, I go to the laundromat, I get the big washing machine, the big dryer, throw it all in. I do my bedding. I have 2 sets of bedding. So basically I rock one set of bed sheets and pillowcases and all that for a week. And then I switch to the clean stuff for a week. And then I go to the laundromat and I wash everything all at once. So honestly, for me, it's pretty easy to just do laundry once every 2 weeks. I love it. I wouldn't want to give up the space required to have my own wash facilities. It doesn't make sense. And then also, you know, like if I had a washer or dryer in my vehicle, you know, then it just uses a bunch more water. You got to refill your water more often. You got to dump your gray water. You can't be dumping washing machine water onto the, you know, onto the street. That's a big nasty mess. So yeah, I just use laundromats. And you know what's funny is a lot of people that live in sticks and bricks use laundromats. There's a lot of apartments and townhouses and stuff that don't actually have washers and dryers. So it's not that uncommon. And I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. So we got the sink countertops cleaned. The floor has been swept and vacuumed. And so now I just sprayed a little cleaner on the floor and I'm going over it with my sponge. And in case you guys are wondering, this is my dish sponge, but it's like at the end of its life, it's all falling apart. It's like disintegrating. So I'm gonna use it to clean the floor. And then after I'm done cleaning the floor, I'm just gonna throw it away. Got reactions, well, just the racket with batteries. What does Got Reactions say? Seems they are milking people. Maybe Makita is the way to go. It's our decision. Okay, so Got Reactions. I mean, I would definitely get battery cordless tool set. Get one of the major brands. Get either Makita or Milwaukee or DeWalt. Like any of those brands is going to be good. And then you only need to buy like two to three batteries. That's all you need. 2 to 3 batteries, and then you can get whatever tools you want. And so you can get vacuums, drills, saws, all kinds of stuff. But I definitely recommend you get a cordless battery set or cordless tool set. You're gonna want it for any type of build outs or like, you know, work you have to do on the road, I use my impact drill to make, you know, to do repairs on the vehicle. I use my impact drill to take the lug nuts off if I need to change a tire. So it's nice to have power tools. And, you know, the batteries aren't cheap, but they last a long time. Like your cordless drill batteries will last you years before you have to replace them. You know, I used my Makita set. I used my cordless drills every day as a technician. You know, 5 days a week for, like I said, like 10 years, 20 years. And the batteries would last you like would last me like 2 to 3 years of being used every day until they started to die and you had to replace them. So for like the average person that's only using your tools maybe a couple times a week, I mean, your batteries will basically last forever. Yo, what's up, Dreadhead? Happy to see you here. Ben, ditto, gym apparel 24/7, 365, and layer rarely in Cali. I want to do a fold out shower, even Harbor Freight. Oh, don't share batteries? Yeah, let me show you something here. Let me show you something. And then, let's see, let's go. Cordless. Okay, let me see if I can share this. Let's go like this. Screen capture. Let's go window capture. Right here. Boom. All right, so check this out. This is Makita's website. This is their, and again, I'm not like just a super Makita fan. That's just a brand that I've personally used. And so I know it's good quality and I know they have a lot of variation, right? But so check this out. This is Makita. This is their LXT line of cordless tools. Everything they make is 18 volts or 36 volts. And if it's 36 volts, it just uses two 18-volt battery packs. So you need one, basically you only need one style battery pack and you can run all these tools. So check this out. Everything in these photos, all these drills, saws. Here's a refrigerator. Makita has a cooler refrigerator. They have lawnmowers. Obviously, a lot of this wouldn't apply to you. Blowers, chainsaws, weed whackers, vacuums. They have tons of different vacuums, chop saws. So all these tools, reciprocating saws, all this stuff can operate off basically the same battery pack. Or if it's a high power tool, then you would just need two battery packs, but it's the exact same battery pack. So I would definitely pick a brand and then just over time, just pick up stuff that you like. And I would recommend the 18 volt tools. So they make, like most tool companies have a 12 volt and then they have like an 18 volt. And so like, see, here's DeWalt and they have a similar thing. Like look at all these tools they have and all those tools are gonna run off the same battery pack. Look at this, here's a cable cutting. That's kind of cool. I'm actually curious about this. Cable cutting and crimping. Crimping tools, cable cutters, cable strippers. Look at this, they got all kinds of stuff. Air compressors, drills. So there's all kinds of tools you can get. All I'm trying to say is definitely don't discount power cordless tools. Just pick a good brand, Milwaukee, Makita, or DeWalt. Get the 18 volt battery pack tool and then just get the ones you need And over time, you can build them up. It's not going to be a problem. Got reactions. I wanted to buy a set that comes with like 3 tools and 2 batteries. Yeah, there you go. So you can go like to Amazon and you can get like a combo kit. Like, let's see. Let's see what we got. A couple batteries. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe at Home Depot. It looks like everything on Amazon is like, it's like 1 or 2 batteries with the tools. Like here you can get a drill and impact drive. Let me see if I can pull this up. So like this one right here, I mean, it ain't cheap, right? Like 560 bucks, but it's 43% off, but you get 2 drills, a flashlight, and a saw, and a battery, and then the battery charger. So you could do something like that. Also, one thing you can do is you can get the knockoff batteries. I've done that, and I've done that. Let's see. Let me see what's in here now. Yeah, so like the battery that's in there right now, if you look at it, it says 18 volt, 5.5 amp lithium ion. This is not a Makita battery. This is a Chinese knockoff. I bought it because I got them on sale, but look, it has the little battery voltage meter. See that? It shows you how much juice is left. And so I think I got a 2-pack of these for like 50 bucks versus if you get the Makita brand, they're like 60 bucks a piece. So, you know, you can do the knockoff batteries. It doesn't, I don't think it really hurts. But yeah, there's definitely some good options out there. Hector, hey Brad, hello from South Texas. On all-in-one inverters and lithium batteries, one would you recommend for beginner build 24 volts? Yes. Yeah, for the all-in-one inverter charger, your only options really are 24 or 48 volts. They don't really make an all-in-one that does 12 volts. I recommend 24. I think it's a good place to start. So that's what I would recommend for you. Got reactions. Makita is at the top of the quality list. Yeah, Makita is at the top. I think, honestly, Milwaukee, which are the red ones, I think Milwaukee is arguably probably the best performance. Also the most expensive. And then down from Milwaukee, you have Makita. And then down from Makita, you have like DeWalt. And then it keeps going down. So Milwaukee, Makita, DeWalt are kind of the top 3. I'm somebody that I usually never buy the most expensive thing. I usually try to go like 1 or 2 steps down just because I feel like that's the best value. And so that's why I don't run Milwaukee, although I think it is really good quality. But I got into Makita because when I started doing HVAC 20 years ago, my boss ran Makita. And so I bought Makita because then I could share his tools and his batteries and his battery chargers while we were working at the job site. So it just made sense for me to get the same brand equipment that he used. And I've used it ever since. I've never changed. I've always used Makita, and it's always treated me really well. Another trick you can do to save money is you can buy the bare, like, so you could buy the batteries, the cheap batteries on Amazon if you wanted. I'm not saying like that's what you should do, but you could do it. I've done it. It worked out fine. So like on Amazon, I typed in Makita. So like look at this right here. Here's your Makita brand 18 volt 4 amp hour battery pack. This single battery is $67. But if you get the knockoff, you can get a 2-pack of 6 amp hour batteries for $55. So it's like half off. Now, they're probably not actually going to be 6 amp hours because, you know, that's China and they're just going to probably lie about it. But even if they're 3 or 4 amp hours, you're still getting 2 batteries for 56 bucks. which is a pretty good deal. So you could do this. You could get the cheaper batteries on Amazon, which, I mean, look at the reviews, right? You know, 4.5 stars. This guy has 629 reviews and they have 4.5 out of 5 stars. So these are still good quality products. So you can get cheaper batteries. And then the other thing that I've done, oops, hold on, is you can go to eBay and you can buy the bare tools. Makita 18 volt. Oops, watch this. So for some reason, they sell Makita stuff independently on eBay, and you can usually get it pretty cheap. So like here's one. Makita, so here's a 18 volt impact driver, brand new in the box. Actual Makita, brushless, that's a good one, 3 speeds, for only $80. And that's buy it now, or no, that's place a bid, so you have to bid on it. But 80 bucks gets you that driver. You know, that thing's probably 150 bucks on Amazon. And there's a bunch of them, right? Like here's one, you can buy it now for 86 bucks. Here's 2 drills with the charger and the battery for 158, free shipping. Oh, it's refurbished. So you can get some deals on eBay as well. Look at this one. Here's one that's just a pure auction, brand new. Look at this. Makita Impact wrench with a battery, Makita battery for $48. And it, it's a 6-day auction though, so it'll go for higher. But anyway, if you want to try to save cash, there's lots of ways you can do it. Let's see, got reactions. Considering all I have is a few wrenches and a hammer, my build will be interesting. Yeah, you're definitely gonna want a drill, and you're gonna want probably a circular saw at the minimum. Brad stuck us in the laundry basket. Myron Priest, I got a Weed Eater Ryobi that I've had for 10 years on the same battery. Yep, there you go. Ben signing off, cell phone battery requires charging. All right, Ben, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Good luck. I will see you next time. So that's about it for me, guys. We got the floor cleaned. I used a little citrus degreaser and the old sponge from the kitchen. Took all the scum and the gunk off the floor. After, no matter what, after a few days of going in and out of the vehicle with your shoes on, ultimately you'll just end up tracking, you know, grime and dust and dirt into the rig. So, you know, pretty much no matter what, once a week or so, you got to kind of just go through, give everything a full cleaning, get all the funk out. But, you know, that's just part of the game. That's just part of the game. And it's looking good now. It's looking very good. Look at this towel. Look at that. That's what was on the floor. Grimy. Very, very grimy. Okay. All right. Woo. Crazy. What should we do? Maybe the microfiber. Maybe I'll hit it with the microfiber now. Give it a little polish. I'm really happy with this flooring, by the way. It wasn't cheap. I think it cost me like 500 bucks for all this flooring, but it was worth it. This stuff is so nice. It's really heavy duty. It's thick. It's like it insulates very well. When you walk on it, it feels solid. It doesn't feel like flimsy, you know, cheap linoleum or anything. It just feels really solid, and very happy with it. I think I'll probably use the same brand on my next build out. Maybe not the same color, maybe, or maybe I will, but definitely the same brand. I've been super happy with it. All right, where are we at? Alt code guy, you're a pioneer. Thanks for being a nomad inspiration. Hey, you're welcome, buddy. I appreciate you being here today. Outdoors Dreadhead, I bet construction my whole life. I got so many tools, they are running out my ears. Oh, yeah, I feel you, man. Ain't nobody nomading like Nomad Brad. Got a dip, be back to real life. All right, alt code guy, thanks for being out here. I appreciate you. Catch you on the flip side, brother. Animus D, tardy to the party. Hello, Nomad Brad, and all in the chat. Got Steam, thanks for the live stream. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. You know, I just figured, you know, I'm going to have a couple hours of cleaning to do today. And so why not open up the live stream and just show you guys what I'm doing, take you into a day in the life. You know, this is part of van life, is cleaning up your rig, doing, you know, doing the chores. It's not all glamorous. And the thing that I think van lifers get roasted for the most, like, is that they never show on social media this kind of stuff, right? Like, you know, if you watch most of the YouTube videos, you know, or like Instagram from van lifers, they're just showing you the highlights, of course. They're not showing you them cleaning their kitchen, which, you know, I'm not like roasting them on that. I mean, it's way more exciting to show content of a beautiful campsite, you know, overlooking the mountains than cleaning the floor of your van, but it's all part of the experience. But also, I think it's cool to show it because everyone can see, like, it's not that big of a deal, and it's easier to keep a van clean than it is an apartment. I can clean my entire van house in a couple hours versus cleaning my apartment used to take me a full day. So I like it. And the van home is still roomy. It's cozy. It's got everything I need. It's got free energy from the sun. Generate my own electricity. I ain't worried about the utility companies. I don't need linemen to bring me my energy. Collect free power from the sun, which is pretty valuable. Pretty valuable. Use it to charge up my Makita batteries. Woo! Full circle, baby. Full circle. So what do we got? Today's Sunday. Tomorrow I'm going into downtown Costa Mesa. I'm going to meet up with this guy from Instagram who's a van builder. And so I'm going to see what he's up to, but I've been following him for a while and he seems like he's pretty good at what he does. And he seems like his pricing is pretty affordable. So I'm going to go meet up with him tomorrow. And if he's legit, I'm going to make a little video for my YouTube to share with you guys. And he might be somebody you want to consider for your conversions because he does partial builds. So like if you just want someone to build a bathroom or, you know, build you a cabinet or something, he'll do partial builds, like projects. And also he'll do full projects, but he works by himself out of his like garage. And so it seems like his pricing is really affordable. And I have a lot of people that reach out to me that ask about if I can recommend a builder. And I don't like to recommend people unless I know them personally and I've seen the work that they've done. And so that's kind of the goal of tomorrow's to meet this guy and see if he's really good and maybe connect you guys with him. Myron, thanks for the stream. Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate it. Dreadhead says, I know, clean mine at least once a week. The sand and dirt starts building up. Yeah, absolutely. Got reactions. Is your AC on now? Yeah, it is. The AC is on. It's warm here in California. I mean, no matter what, you know, if it's 80 degrees outside, it's going to be 90 degrees in the van. So honestly, what I do is on the air conditioner, I basically leave it on all the time and I just set the temperature on the thermostat. So it'll just kick on and off automatically, just like a thermostat in a house. And so it just maintains, you know, whatever set point I have it on. But yeah, it's on right now. Okay. Floor's clean, counters are clean, hood is clean, mirror is clean. I think that's it. I think we're done. I think we handled it. I think we got it all cleaned up. Let's see. Put this back. There we go. Okay. Can't even hear your AC. Those 12 volts seem loud. Yeah, that's something else to consider. The 12 volt units are pretty loud. The technology on these, like the traditional 110 mini splits, it's just so much quieter. I'll hold my mic up to the fan and you can see if you can hear it. See, can you hear that? So that's like putting my mic all the way up in the vent, and you can hear like just a light ticking. Like if you're absolutely quiet and you listen close, you can hear just a quiet like tick 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 tick, and it's the blower fan, but super quiet compared to the 12 volt units and like the rooftop units. The rooftop units are really loud. Like I installed one of those Velvet 12 volt rooftop ACs in a Sprinter, and that thing is just as loud as a regular RV AC. Like it kicks on and it's like wah. You can hear the compressor running, and it's just super loud and obnoxious. And so, yeah, the mini split, not only is it more comfortable, it's more efficient. It cools way better because of physically how large the outdoor coil is. It can get rid of heat a lot better. But also it's super quiet. It's just whisper quiet. Like in my mind, there's no reason to get any different type of air conditioner than this. 1580 watts, 212 volt, 280 amp hour battery with the all-in-one unit is what I just got. 1580 watts. What's 1580 watts? 212 volt, 280. So that's good. That's like 560 amp hours, all in one unit. Oh, solar. You're probably talking about solar. 1580 watts of solar. Awesome, man. Yeah, that's a nice setup. 1500 watts of solar is great. That's going to be plenty to keep that battery bank charged. You're going to be cruising. All right, that's it for me, guys. I'm going to sign off. It's almost 5 o'clock here. I'm going to go find a spot to stay for the evening. So I'm going to pack everything up, hit the road, go find some street parking, and then tomorrow I'm continuing my journey south. Appreciate you guys for being here. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. Hope you enjoyed hanging out while I was doing some cleaning today. Thank you for joining me, and I will look forward to seeing you guys next time. Nomad Brad